Okay, so for part two, you're going to see this video right in this section. I sort of remind you of what to do. So after you finished your vocabulary, right, and remember that I read them all out loud to you using the audio feature, you're going to move on to part two, where you will either read or use Google Read and Write to read the question out loud, and then you will drag this yellow arrow to whichever answer you think is correct. Okay, just some quick reminders about what we learned. So, when the colonies were found, England was willing to let them go there. Remember, they needed permission from the king to go to the colonies and start forming these new settlements. The king didn't do that just to be nice, right? The king did that because having them in the colonies and having the colonists trade different materials and furs that they didn't have in England made the king a lot of money, right? But then they continued trading, right? So the trade went in a triangle from the American colonies to England to Africa, back to the American colonies to England to Africa. They did this over and over again. When they were trading slaves and goods, when they would trade the slaves were brought over in these huge overcrowded boats across the ocean to the colonies. They called this really scary and hard journey the Middle Passage. So then, over territory, the French and the English started fighting each other, right? But when they were fighting each other, the Indians ended up allying or kind of choosing sides and helping one or the other. So it was the French and the English who were fighting for land, but the Native Americans were helping one or the other side out. All right, and then this, I want you to think back to what I said about the Middle Passage, about how they were trading, right? Who was trading with each other? Was it only two countries, or were they going to three countries over and over again? All right, remember what you're going to do is drag that yellow line to whichever one you think is correct. Let me know if you have any questions.